Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Power On. Well, today we're not looking at electronics, but we're looking at the Humble spring. I just got here a very ordinary tension spring, about 20 millimeters long, a couple of loops at either end, and sure enough, if you pull it, it sort of returns back to its normal position, like that. Oh, no. That wasn't supposed to happen. Never mind. I've got some magic snake oil here that I can probably fix this spring, I think. Let's just see what happens. Oh, yep. There we go. So all back together again, no problems. Yep, just a little bit of snake oil and that fixed that spring, no problem. Okay, I have to be honest. This is a rather special spring, or rather the material that the spring is made from is special. It's made from shape memory alloy, or memory wire. More accurately, I guess it's called nitinol, and that name actually indicates the two constituent parts to this, and that's nickel and titanium. Now, I've never come across this material before. I've heard about it and I've read about it, but never used it before. So I did a bit of reading. So the background is that, look, it's not new, but because it's quite hard to make, it has to be made in a vacuum furnace or something, you know, another sort of arc furnace under a vacuum, that it's not really until the 1990s you started to see this sort of material being in common use. First used though in 1959 for the nose cone of a missile. I'm not too sure why you'd want a nose cone of a missile to reform itself, but anyway, I'm not into armaments. So it's been used in quite a lot of applications. It's biocompatible, so it can be used in medical applications, gets used in stents. It can be used in people's spectacle frames, you know, for those ones which are quite sort of bendy and will return to the shape. And indeed, what happens is that there are two lattice structures. There's the austenite and there's the martensite. And by just pulling it, you can change the lattice structure from one to another, and then you can undo that change by putting it under some heat. And this glass of water here is it has to be above around about sort of 50-60 degrees centigrade for it to return to its original shape. And you can do this over and over again. So yeah, great little sort of solution looking for a problem. Now, this spring, I can give you just a quick sort of brief overview of the system that this is used in. It's used in a heating appliance, and this heating appliance has got a couple of flaps. If we can imagine, the couple of flaps have got a pivot point in the middle, and there is an ordinary spring holding these flaps in this position. And then across the top is the memory wire spring, and in this I'm drawing it in its extended form. I just pop this like that. So the mechanical advantage of this spring over this spring is enough to allow the memory wire to be expanded. But in this device there are some heaters, in fact two heaters. I'll just draw them as simple sort of rectangles here. And they're coming out of the paper, so they're blowing hot air is coming this way. And so when the hot air comes on, the spring reduces, and I can't really show this now, but the spring reduces its length back to its original shape, overcomes the mechanical advantage of this spring, and the flaps change their position. And so it's a simple toggle between one and the other. Obviously this spring then becomes expanded when the temperature is high. So yeah, very simple application. Seems to work over and over again. There are some issues. The reason why we have these spare springs is we do seem to get a little bit of fatigue over time, so maybe they'll last a few years, but I guess this continual contraction and expansion wears away, particularly at this stress raising point around the loops there. But anyway, hope you found that interesting. Nothing to do with electronics, as I said, but yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.